Hey there, welcome to today's episode. We're going to take a look at Q-links. Just a general overview. Q-links are going to come up time and time again throughout this tutorial series, and I just want to do a brief overview and show you how they work, what their purpose is, and how you can use them to just effectively move around through your device. The Q-links have been set up really well. I think it's one thing that the MPC does really well, is that they have made most of the parameters, most of the menus, the functions, the things that you need to access, they have made specific modes for the Q-links. And you change that mode by pressing this Q-link button up here. Now, not a lot is happening on the home screen, but we'll go to a screen where you get an idea. And this is throughout the MPC. We can't show all of these just now because it would be a huge video, but I want to show you how this works. So let's go to something like the sample editing page. Here we have a sample that's ready to be edited. With the MPC, as I've already explained, there are multiple ways to do the same thing. If you're more of a touchscreen kind of person, then yes, you can come in here and you can move your start and end points using the touchscreen. But if you're like me, I actually prefer using the Q-links. I prefer hardware over the touchscreen, and this is just one of the places where they come in very handy. What you will notice here is a little orange rectangle highlighting whatever this Q-link button or this Q-link mode button is currently selecting. So here it is talking about the start point of the sample. And just as one demonstration, this is how it works. If I move this top Q-link, it moves in really big chunks very fast. If I move the second one down, it's a little bit slower and a little bit more precise. And if I use the third one, even more so, it slows it down. You're really fine tuning, and the same with the fourth one. When you want to know what that's doing, there is a little menu panel that pops up, but I showed you in an earlier episode how to turn that off, because really it will pop up every time you touch one of these Q-links, and when you're sample editing, it really gets in the way. The better way, ideally, to look at what's happening with your Q-links is to hold down the Q-link button, and it's going to tell you what it's moving. So here we can see it's moving the start point, and it's telling us that it's moving the start point in different increments. If I move it over, it's going to start playing with the endpoint, and we're going to get exactly the same thing, but over at the endpoint. And if I want to know exactly what we're changing, I hold down the Q-link button and I can see the parameters that are listed. This happens throughout the MPC for pretty much every menu, every place you can think of. The Q-links have been assigned something to help you out in the long run. I really like these Q-link knobs, but that's ultimately what they're there for. Depending on your device, you may have more or less Q-links. I think the MPC X, the SE, the flagship, they really have a lot of Q-links, maybe 16, which is really handy. Most users, I think, have around 4, but because you have this mode switch where you can switch between the modes, it's really easy to use them and just change parameters for pretty much everything you're ever going to need. That's Q-links in a nutshell. I'll see you in the next episode.